Are you ready to improve your English grammar in 30 days? You are in the right place. I'm Natalie, your English teacher, and my lessons are specially created to boost your English grammar skills. Each lesson has 4 interesting parts: a simple rule and a quiz, speaking practice, a real talk, and the final test. Alright guys, and here it is, a quick game to kick things off. I'm going to say 3 phrases and you have to say aloud which article is missing, a, an, or they. Ready? Apple a day keeps a doctor away. She's a great teacher. I'm going to supermarket later. Got it? Good! Let's dive in and make sure that by the end of this lesson you are a pro at using these little words that make a big difference. Okay, so we've got 3 main players here: a, an, and the. These are these little words that can be surprisingly tricky but also powerful. A and an are called indefinite articles. We use them when we are talking about any one of something. It's not specific. So if you say, I want a banana, you mean any banana, not a particular one. But if you say, I want the banana, you are talking about a specific banana, maybe the only banana left on the plate, and you are serious about that banana. The article a is used when the next word starts with the consonant sound, like a car, a dog, a unicorn. Yes, a unicorn starts with U, but it's the sound that matters. Got it? And the article an is for words starting with the vowel sound, like an apple, an hour, an interesting story. Funny fact, hour starts with an H, but H is silent, so it actually starts with a vowel sound, making it an hour. English, am I right? Okay, let's do a quick practice. I'll say a noun and you just say aloud a or an, depending on what you think fits. Ready? Let's start. Elephant. History book. Honest mistake. Umbrella. How did you do? Nice job if you've got right. If you're not sure, don't worry. That's all about practice, and we're here to learn and have fun with it. Now let's talk about the. This is called a definite article. It means we're talking about something specific. Like if you say, pass me the salt, you mean this salt that's on the table, not any random salt in the world. You use they when you've already mentioned the thing before. So if you say, I saw a dog, and then later say, the dog was cute, you know you're talking about that same dog. There is only one of something: the sun, the president, the internet. We all know which one we're talking about. But here is the twist. In some cases, you don't use they even with something specific. For example, you don't say the Mountain Everest, but just Mountain Everest. But if you speak about oceans, you always say the Indian Ocean. Alright, round 2 of practice. Listen up and I'll give you a sentence. You say aloud if it needs a, an, they, or if we leave it blank. Are you ready? Let's start. I saw amazing sunset last night. We need to visit Mountain Everest one day. Pacific Ocean is messy. My friend gave me advice that I'll never forget. How did you do? Let me know in the comments if you aced it or need some more practice. English is full of exceptions. Here are a couple of advanced tips. We don't usually use articles with proper names. So we say John, not the John. But sometimes we do, like the United States or the Netherlands. Why? Because they imply a group of states or lands. And here it is, the second tip. We often skip articles in generalizations. For example, she likes reading books, not the books. But if I say she likes the books on her room, now we are talking about specific ones. So remember, rules are important, but so are the exceptions. Learning these little quirks will make your English sound more natural. Part 2, Speaking Practice. Describing everyday objects. Instructions. Look around the room and pick 3 objects to describe using a, an, or the. Start each sentence with there is or I have. For example, there is a pen on my desk. I see an apple on the table. The lamp is next to the bed. And now shopping list instructions. Imagine you are making a shopping list. Say each item aloud using a or an if it's one item, and they for items everyone knows. For example, I need an orange, a bottle of water, a banana, and the bread from my favorite bakery.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready for another deep dive?
Always. What are we tackling today?
Well, I was thinking we could look at something that seems super basic, like deceptively simple. But it's actually one of those things that once you really understand it, it can completely transform how you use the English language.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Articles.
Articles, you mean like a, an, and the?
Exactly. A, an, and the. Those little words that we use all the time without even thinking about them, but they have a huge impact on how clearly we communicate.
You know, you're right. I never really thought about it that way, but they're everywhere.
They are. And today, we're going to unpack them, going to uncover the hidden logic behind them, and hopefully give everyone listening the tools to use them with confidence. You in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so for anyone who needs a quick refresher, let's recap the basic rules. A and an, those are our indefinite articles, right? We use them when we're talking about something general, not a specific thing.
Right. Like if you say a cat, you're not talking about any particular cat. It could be any cat in the world.
Exactly. And then we have the, our definite article, which we use when we are talking about something specific, something that both the speaker and the listener already know about.
Yeah, so if you say the cat, it means you're both thinking about the same cat. Maybe it's the cat that's sitting right in front of you.
Perfect. Now here's where things start to get a little bit trickier. With a and an, it's not just about the letter that a word starts with, it's about the sound.
Ooh, yes. That's a big one. It trips people up all the time. You have to listen closely.
Right, like we wouldn't say an hour, we say an hour because of that vowel sound at the beginning. Even though it's spelled with an H, it sounds like it starts with the vowel.
Exactly. And it's the same with words like university. It's a university and not a university. That U at the beginning sounds more like a Y.
Okay, so we've got to train our ears, not just our eyes. Now, what about the? What are some of the less obvious ways we use that?
Well, one of the most interesting things about the is how it helps us establish shared knowledge. It's like a shortcut that lets us avoid having to explain everything in detail every single time.
What do you mean?
Okay, think about it. When you say the sun, you don't have to say that big giant ball of burning gas that gives us light and heat and is the center of our solar system.
That's true.
Right. We both know exactly what we're talking about. The sun tells us that we have this shared understanding of what the sun is.
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. So the is like a super efficient way to communicate.
Exactly. But what happens if you're writing, say, a science fiction novel and your world has, like, 3 suns? Would you still use the?
Good question. I guess you wouldn't say the sun anymore because now there's more than one. You'd have to be specific about which sun you're talking about.
Right. You might say a sun or one of the suns because you're introducing specific suns within this new context. It's really cool how articles can shape how readers understand the world you're creating.
Okay, I am officially convinced. Articles are way more interesting than I ever realized.
Right.
In fact, I was reading one of those articles you sent me and I found this sentence. The scientist used a powerful telescope to observe an unusual phenomenon in the night sky.
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like there's a lot going on there in terms of articles. Can we break it down for our listeners?
Absolutely. So we start with the scientist, which suggests that we already know which scientists we're talking about. Maybe they were mentioned earlier in the article.
Okay, so the Hanny is establishing that shared knowledge again.
Right. Then we have a powerful telescope, We don't know anything about this specific telescope, just that it's powerful. So we use A.
Makes sense.
Then we come to an unusual phenomenon. That's new information, something we're encountering for the first time, so it's an I. And finally, the night sky brings us back to shared knowledge because, well, there's only one night sky.
Wow, that's amazing. You're right. There is so much packed into those little articles.
It's all happening below the surface, but it really shapes how we process the information.
Totally. Now, before we wrap up, you mentioned earlier that there are some even more advanced ways to use articles. Do we have time to touch on those? I think our listeners are up for the challenge.
Sure, let's see. One common use is with superlatives. Like if you say the tallest building in the world, you're using the to emphasize that there's only one building that holds that title.
So it's highlighting that it's unique.
Exactly. And we also use the with certain geographical features like rivers, mountain ranges, deserts, the Nile, the Himalayas, the Sahara. It's like we're acknowledging these features as unique and significant entities.
It's mind-blowing how much information these tiny words can convey. So what's the big takeaway for everyone listening? What should they be paying attention to?
Honestly, just start noticing articles in your reading. See if you can figure out why a particular article was chosen. And when you're writing, think about the impact you want your article choices to have.
It's almost like a secret code embedded in the language.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, on that note, here's something for everyone to ponder. Do we actually need all 3 articles in English? Could we get by with fewer? Simplify things a bit. There's no right answer, just something to think about.
That is a good question.
I know, right? Anyway, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the fascinating world of articles.
It's been fun.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
I need a pencil to write it down. I saw an owl in the tree. My sister is a doctor and she loves her job. I met an interesting person at the conference. She gave me an useful advice about my project. Alright guys, we've tackled a, an, and they, and all those quirky little rules and exceptions. I hope you are feeling more confident using them. If this helped, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because next time we are diving into another topic that will make your English even better. Like and subscribe so you don't miss out our next lesson. And let's keep leveling up your English grammar together.